Hi, I'm Srinivas Reddy Palam, lecturer in Computer Engineering, Kolikudipshar Government Polytechnic. I'm going to handle the session in the subject 18CM2050C, Programming in C. In today's session, we will discuss about programming languages, and also we'll see the compiler, assembler, translators, different translators like compiler, translators, interpreters, and also we'll see the difference between all these three, and we will see a brief history of C. Also, we will discuss the steps in execution of C programming. Let's see what are the programming languages. Okay, so different programming languages falls into different categories like machine language, assembly language, and high level languages. So first of all, what is machine level language? Machine language, the fundamental language of the computers process, also called low level language, is called machine language. So it is the fundamental language for the computer process, and also it works at the low level of your hardware. That's why it is called low level language. All programs are converted into machine language before they can be executed. So every program, that is whether it is a assembly language program or high level programming language, it should be converted into machine language before they can be executed. It consists of combinations of zeros and ones that represent high and low electrical voltage. So it basically consists of zeros and ones. That's why it operates at the low level of the machine on which you are executing your program or you are compiling the programs, and it represents the high and low electrical voltages equivalent to zeros and ones. Also, we will see what is assembly language. Assembly language, a low level language that is similar to machine language. It is also similar to machine language, and it uses symbolic operation code to represent the machine operation code. So it uses symbolic operation codes to represent the machine operation code. High level language. The other type is high level language, computer programming language that are easier to learn. So these are the computer programming languages, or simply we can say programming languages that are easier to learn, and they uses English like statements. Examples are C++, Visual Basic, Pascal, Fortran, and also we can have Java, etc. All the high level languages. These are all the high level languages. These are very easy to learn, and they use English like statements. Let's see what is pseudocode. Pseudocode, a program design technique that uses English words, has no formal syntactical rules. So it has no formal syntactical rules, and it simply uses the technique that uses English words. So in pseudocode, we will have only English words. So they definitely they won't have any definite meaning. We can use in our own English words to write the code of the particular program. That's why it is called pseudocode. It has no formal syntactical rules for writing the particular pseudocode of the program. Example of pseudocode: determine the average grade of a class. So first of all, we should know what is the program. The program is to find the average grade of a class. So the pseudocode is like this: do while there are more data. So we have written some logic where you are checking for the data. If the data is available, then you should go to the next statement where you are getting the next grade. That is, get the next grade is the next statement of your pseudocode. Add the grade to the sum. So find, if at all, if you are having more data, then you should get the next grade, and then add the grade to the sum exist to the existing sum of your grades. You should add the newly fetched grade, and then increment the counter. And then you should proceed to see if there is more data or not. And this is there in the loop. So inside the loop, you are getting the next grade after checking whether the data is existing or not, and then you are adding the grade to the pre-calculated sum, and then incrementing the counter, and you will check the counter inside the while condition statement, and then you will find the grade, and also will calculate the sum of your grades. This is continued for a number of times that is equivalent to the counter, and after finding the condition that your counter exceeded what your data is available, you will come out of the loop and then you will calculate the average. The statement is compute average equal to sum by counter. So you have already calculated inside the loop, you calculated the sum of all the available grades, and also you have the counter that is equivalent to the number of grades available inside your data, and then you are finding the average equal to sum by counter, and then finally you are going to use a statement for displaying the average, that is display average. So this is the pseudocode, sample pseudocode that finds the average grade of a class. High level language. High level language computer usage increased rapidly to speed up programming process. High level languages are developed. High level language, their code similar to everyday English use mathematical notations. So they use mathematical notation translated via compilers. Example, salary equal to base pay plus overtime pay. So this is a sample statement that you use in high level programming language. Interpreter. Interpreter programs were developed to execute high-level language programs directly, although more slowly than compiled programs. So you use interpreters. You can also use interpreters for executing the high-level language programming statements, even though you are using compilers in some of the programming languages. Scripting languages such as JavaScript and PHP are processed by interpreters. So scripting language just like JavaScript and PHP are processed by interpreters, and high-level languages like C, C++ are usually executed using the compilers. After compiling them, they will get object code, and then they will execute these high-level programming languages. Interpreters have an advantage over compilers in internet scripting. An interpreted program can begin executing as soon as it's downloaded to the client's machine without needing to be compiled before it can execute. On the downside, interpreted scripts generally run slower than compiled code. So there is an advantage that your compilers programs need to be compiled each and every time they should be executed. But whereas if you use programming language that supports interpreters, they can be directly downloaded and they can directly be executed without even compiling them. That is the advantage. So they are the interpreter supporting languages are very faster when compared to the language that they support. Compiler or the programming program that needs to be compiled. So interpreted programs are faster when compared with compiled programs. That is the advantage with interpreters. Java uses interpreters, and also most of the internet-based programming scripting languages, they use the interpreters for executing their programs that were written in them. So they are very faster when you compare with the programming language like C++, C, and etc. High level language. Some of the high level language we will see. Fortran. Fortran stands for Formula Translators. Developed by IBM Corporation in the 1950s, it is used for scientific and engineering applications that require complex mathematical computations. COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language. So this is also one of the high level language which is basically used for business programs. Developed in 1959 by computer manufacturers, the government and industry computer users. So most of the government organizations and industrial organizations, they use this COBOL for their business purposes and use it for commercial applications that require precise and efficient manipulation of large amounts of data. It is used for commercial application that require precise and efficient manipulation of large amounts of data. So based on the COBOL, they used to manipulate some of the companies, they used to commercial applications, they require precise and efficient manipulation of large amounts of data. In those cases, they use this COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language. One another high-level language is Pascal, which is developed by Professor Niklas Ritt in 1971, designed for teaching structured programming. So Pascal follows structured programming. Based on this only, C programming, which is another high-level language, follows the structured programming approach. ADA, it is developed under the sponsorship of the US Department of Defense during the 1970s and early 1980s. So it is also one of the high-level language which is developed under the sponsorship of the US Department of Defense (DoD) during 1970s and early 1980s. It is able to perform multitasking. So ADA supports multitasking. Any program that is not written in machine language has to be translated into machine language before it is executed by the computer. The means used for translation are themselves computer programs. There are three types of translator program, that is on the first one is assembler, compiler, second one, and the third one is the interpreter. So this is the introduction to the different translators, why they are required, and what are all those. Any program that is not written in machine language has to be translated in machine language before it is executed by the compiler or computer. So any program that is not written in machine language, that is zeros and ones only, will be understood by the machine. But if they are not written in zeros and ones, then they needs to be translated in machine language. That is, they should be converted into zeros and ones before it is executed by the computer. The means used for translation are themselves computer programs. So the basic means that are used for translating these are nothing but the computer programs themselves. So the different computer programs that are developed are nothing but translator programs. They are like assembler, compilers, and interpreters. Let's see what is assembler. Assembler is a computer program which is used to translate programs written in assembly language into machine language. So assembler is a computer program which is used to translate program written in assembly language into machine language. So some of the program they will be written in assembly language, but these assembly language programs cannot be understood by the computer on which you are using them, or you are running them or executing them. So then you have to translate them into the machine language. The assembler performs this task. The translated program is called as object program. Assembler checks each instruction for its correctness and generates diagnostic messages if there are mistakes in the program. So the purpose of assembler is assembler checks each instruction for its correctness and generates diagnostic messages if there are mistakes in the program. So assembler checks for the mistakes in the instructions, and they also generates the diagnostic messages, that is the correction that you have to make them also will be suggested out by the assemblers. And then you have to recorrect them in the assembler program. Translate mnemonic operation codes to their machine language equivalents. Also, the assembler translates mnemonic operation codes to their machine language equivalents. So the mnemonic operations will be written in English, just like English language, and these codes will be converted into zeros and ones. That is, into machine language equivalent. Assigning machine addresses to symbolic labels also will be done by the assembler. The translator that does this task is the assembler. It assigns the machine addresses to symbolic labels. Symbolic labels are nothing but mnemonics. Assembler directives provide instructions to the assembler itself. They are not translated into machine instructions. So assembler directives are also there, or pseudo instructions are there, just like start and end. They provide instructions to the assembler itself. So they give instructions to the assembler. They are not translated into machine instructions. So just to tell the assembler whether your program has started, whether your program execution has ended, everything will be suggested or instructed by the um, by these assembler directives to the assembler. The output of the assembler program is called the object code or object. program. So the output that is generated by the assembler program is called object code. That is the assembler converts your assembly programs into object code or object program. That is the task of the assembler. The object code is usually a machine code, also called a machine language, which can be understood directly by a specific type of CPU, such as x86 Intel compatible or PowerPC. So the object code is it is basically a machine code. As already told, object code contains zeros and ones, which is nothing but machine code or machine language. It is easily understood directly by a specific type of CPU, the central processing unit of the computer, such as x86 Intel compatible or PowerPC. However, some compilers are designed to convert source code into an assembly language or some other another programming language. So some of the compilers they can convert the source code, that is high level language programs, into the assembly language, and these assembly languages will be again converted into the object code or object programs. Some other another programming language they can also be converted into some other programming language. An assembly language is a human readable notation for the machine language that a specific type of CPU uses. So assembly language is a human readable one for the machine language that a specific type of CPU uses. So although you have written your program in machine language, high level language, then the high level language will not be understood by the computer on which you are going to execute that particular program. So that should be translated or converted into some other intermediate language that is nothing but assembly language. And this assembly language is a readable one, but that cannot be understood by the computer. So again, it should be converted into machine language. So then that converted assembly language, machine language will be now understood by the CPU based on your computer model. An object code file can contain not only the object code but also relocation information that the linker uses to assemble multiple object files to form an executable program. So although your program is written at different places, they all should be clubbed together. So different codes of your particular program will have different functions. So all these functions should be combined together. Then only the particular program's purpose will be served. To have that facility, we will link all these different programs at different places and using the linker, so that they can be assembled to multiple object files to form an executable program. It can also contain other information such as program symbols. So the object code will also contain certain information such as program symbols, names of variables and functions, and debugging information. So the assembly object code file generated after your program was converted into object code will contain relocation information that your linker uses to assemble multiple object files to form an executable program, and also it contain other information such as program symbols, such as names of variables and functions, and also it contain debugging information, removing errors information. So all this information will be contained in your simple object code, nothing but object program. Flat assembler FASM are the example of one of the assemblers. So you can see there is a flow chart. There you are having the source code, and the source code will be converted into executable code. In between there is a assembly process. So during this process, all the things that I explained will be used. That is nothing but relocation information of different object files, which can be combined to form an executable program, and also the information related to names of variables and functions, and debugging information will be contained in this object code files. All these things will be done by the assembler inside the assembly process, and finally it will be converted into the executable code. Example: label opcode operands, comments. So we can see there is an executable machine code, that is 101001001, something like that is written in 01, so that is machine language. After that we have LDA ampersand 71. This is the address, and the particular operation that you have to do is load A, and from where you have to load is specified with the help of ampersand 71. So from the address location 71, you have to load some value into the accumulator or load A register, and we have add ampersand hash symbol ampersand 01. So immediately at the address pointed out by 01, there will be some value, and to that value you have to add A. That is the meaning of this add pound ampersand 01. And then we have one more statement, sta ampersand 71 store A. So from the location 71, the result should be the result that is obtained after addition operation should be stored at a location pointed out by 71. So that is the meaning of this sta ampersand 71. So first statement is load A at the from the address 71. You have to add load value into A. Then you have to add this A to the location pointed out by pound ampersand 01, then again sta ampersand 71. So at the address 71, you have to add the result, that is addition operation, into this particular register at A. So that is the meaning of this assembly program statements, three statements. Now you see compiler. So what is a compiler? A compiler is a program that translates a program written in high level language to executable machine language. This is also similar to the assembler, but here it is a program that translates a program written in high level language to executable machine language. From the high level language, you will get machine language. The process of transferring high level language source program into object code is a lengthy and complex process as compared to assembling. So it is a lengthy process to generate the object code from the high level language, because the high level language should be translated into assembler, and assembly programs assembler should translate this assembly program into the low level language, that is machine level language programs. So the task will be very lengthy. Compilers have diagnostic capabilities and prompt the programmer with appropriate error message while compiling a high level language program. So compilers also will have the capability of diagnostics, that is they will identify the problem, and also they will suggest you the particular place at a particular place in your particular program, that is it will they will give the information about the error message where it is occurring. All these details will be suggested to the particular programmer who has written the program. So they will have diagnostic capabilities. The corrections are to be incorporated in the program whenever needed, and the program has to be recompiled. So corrections will be incorporated in the program where they are occurred, and the program has to be recompiled. Once the errors were corrected, we again have to compile the program, that is nothing but recompilation. So every high level language program, whenever it is compiled, if there are any errors they found, and these errors again have to be corrected back, and your high level language program needs to be recompiled. The process is repeated until the program is mistake free and translated to an object code. So this process is a repeated process until your program is mistake free. It will be recompiled, and finally it will be translated into an object code. Job of compiler. So there are certain tasks that your compiler performs. The first task that it does is to translate high level language source program to machine codes. So it will translate a high level language source program to machine code. That is the very purpose of compiler, and it will also trace variables in the programs. It has a facility to trace the variables in the program to include linkage or subroutines. So it will have the linker capability also, so that it will link some subroutines in your particular program itself to allocate memory for storage of program and variables. And it also allocates memory for storage of program and variables. That is also the job of the compiler. And it also generate error messages if there are errors in the program. To generate error message if there are errors in the program is also one of the job of the compiler. So it will tell you the errors in the form of error messages, and if there are errors in the program, that is also the job of compiler. This how your compiler actually works is you will have a source code, and in between you will have compiler, and you will finally get the executable code. So your source code will be compiled, then after compilation you will get the executable code. That is the sequence of execution of your source code to get a object code or object program. High level level languages such as C, C++, and Java compilers are used. The compiler displays the list of errors and warnings for the statements violating the syntax rules of the language. Compilers also have the ability of linking subroutines of the program. So compilers, they also have the capability to link the subroutines of the program. All these are discussed in the jobs of a compiler. Some examples of compilers are Microsoft Visual Studio and BlueJ Quincy 2005. These are the examples of compilers. We will see what is a interpreter. The basic purpose of interpreter is same as that of compiler. So it is also doing the same thing of generating the object code from one of the source programs. In compiler, the program is translated completely and directly executable version is generated. So the in compiler, entire program is translated and directly you will get a executable version. Whereas interpreter translates each instructions, executes it, and then next instruction is translated, and this goes on until end of the program. So in the case of interpreter, each and every instruction is executed, and then the next instruction is translated, and this goes on until end of the program. So in the case of interpreter will do each and every instructions translation and then its execution. After the instructions translation is completed, next instruction will be translated and then it will be executed. Like that it will continue till the end of the program. So all the program instructions will be executed one after the other, and the entire program will not be executed at once. That is the difference between interpreter and compiler. In this case, object code is not stored and reused. So in our interpreters, we will not store the object code, and it won't be reused. Every time the program is executed, the interpreter translates each instruction freshly. So whenever your program is going to be executed, each time the interpreter translates each instruction freshly. So the entire program will not be compiled or translated and executed, but each and every instruction in the program, whenever needs to be executed, only that particular instruction will be translated and executed. JavaScript, Perl, Python are the examples of interpreter languages. So the high-level languages such as JavaScript, Perl, Python, and Java are the example programming languages that use interpreter languages. In the case of interpreter, how the execution is shown in the form of flowchart. So there will be a source code, and that source code will be supplied to the interpreter. After the interpreter interprets, it will be converted into executable code. Finally, this executable code, mm, once this execution of the particular statement or instruction is completed, it will get the next instruction, and that newly fetched instruction will be supplied back to the source code, and the source instruction will be again given to the interpreter, and the executable code for corresponding to the particular instruction will be generated. So that is the task of the that is how your execution of interpreter statements will be done. Let's see the difference of compilers, interpreters, and assemblers in the form of a table. In the case of compiler is a software that converts program written in high-level language into machine language, and it converts the whole high-level language program to machine language at a time. It is used by C, C++, and whereas the other one, that is interpreter, software that translates a high-level language program into machine language. It is also a software that translates a high-level language program into machine language. and convert the high level language program to machine language line by line. So this is the difference. In the case of compiler, your entire program will be converted to machine language at a time, but you are in the case of interpreter, it converts the high-level language program to machine language line by line only. And interpreter, assembler. Let's see what is assembler. Assembler software that converts programs written in assembly language into machine language. This is also a software program that converts programs written in assembly language into machine language. That is the difference. So assembler it mainly translates assembly language into machine language, and interpreter is similar to the high level compiler, where it translates high level language into machine language, but it differs in the way of execution of the program statements. In the case of compiler, entire program will be converted into machine language, whereas in the case of interpreter, the program will be converted in the form of line after line. Whereas in the case of assembler, it converts assembly language program to machine language. And example for interpreter are Ruby, Perl, Python, PHP, and also we can say Java is a programming language that uses interpreters for executing the programs. And also the examples of assembler software is used by assembly language. So all the assembly languages they use assembler as a tool for converting the assembly language into machine language. Advantages: good at locating errors in program. Debugging is easier since the interpreter stops when it encounters an error. So these are the advantages of the interpreter. The advantages of interpreters are advantages of interpreters. Interpreters are good at locating errors in programs. Debugging is easier since the interpreter stops when it encounters an error. If an error is detected, there is no need to retranslate the whole program. So if there is an error and the error is detected, then there is no need to translate the whole program. The disadvantage of the interpreters, they are slow, no object code is produced, so a translation has to be done every time the program is running. Mm, for the program to run, the interpreter must be present. So forever your program to run, there should be a interpreter in your system on which your program is being run. That is the disadvantage with the interpreter. Now let's see what is the history of C, so that we can see the steps in execution of C program. History of C. C evolved by Ritchie from two previous programming languages, BCPL and V in Bell Lab. It is used to develop Unix, used to write modern operating systems, hardware independent. So it is hardware independent. By late 1970s, C had evolved to traditional C. Many of today's leading operating systems are written in C and are C++. C is mostly hardware independent. With careful design, it is possible to write C programs that are portable to most computers. Standardization. Many slight variations of C existed and were incompatible. Committee formed to create a unambiguous machine independent definition. Standard created in 1989 and updated in 1999. Typical C programming development environment. C systems generally consist of several parts: a program development environment, the language, and C standard library. C programs typically go through six phases to be executed. The first one is edit phase, and the second one is pre-process. Third is compile. Fourth is link, and fifth one is load. And finally, it is to be executed. Six different phases for executing C program. Phase 1 consists of editing a file. So this is the very first step. This is accomplished with an editor program. Using an editor program, you will write a C programs. So that is the this first step. Two editors widely used on Linux system are VA and Emacs. Software packages for the C, C++, integrated program development environments such as Eclipse and Microsoft Visual Studio have editors that are integrated into the programming environment. You type a C program with the editor. So the main important thing is you type a C program with the editor. Make corrections if necessary. Then store the program on a secondary storage device, such as a hard disk. C program file name should be ended with .c extension. So you will write your C program in the editor in different editors depending on your operating system. You will have different editors, and using those editors you will write the C program and you will save them in the hard disk with the extension .c. The file name and should be ended with the .c extension. This is the first phase. In second phase, you give the command to compile the program. The compiler translates the C program into machine language code, nothing but object code. In a C system, a preprocessor program executes automatically before the compiler's translation phase begins. So, if there are any preprocessor programs, the preprocessor program executes automatically before your compiler translation phase begins, and it indicates that certain manipulations are to be performed on the program before compilation. So if you are having the preprocessor statement, then the preprocessor statement should be handled first. Then you can handle. Then you can compile the entire program. The manipulations usually consist of including other files in the file to be compiled and performing various text replacements. In you can have hash include statements. So you have to include that particular statements existing in that particular header file into your entire program so that they can be compiled later. In phase 3, the compiler translates the C program into machine language code. A syntax error occurs when the compiler cannot recognize a statement because it violates the rules of the language. So if there are any syntax errors, they will be found out by the compiler, and you have to clear these syntax errors. Syntax errors are also called compiler errors or compile time errors. The next phase is linking. C programs typically contain references to functions defined elsewhere, such as in the standard libraries or in the private libraries of groups of programmers working on a particular project. So you will have certain functions which are used in the C program, then they should be linked out from the particular header file into your particular program so that there won't be any problem in accessing the particular function from those header files or external libraries. So the linker will handle this. A linker links the object code with the code for the missing function to produce an executable image. Without this there will be problem. The particular steps, a typical C development environment is depicted in the in this figure where you have editor, preprocessor, compiler, linker, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and we can understand them. The fifth phase is loading. Before a program can be executed, the program must to be first be placed in memory. This is done by the loader. So loader will place your program from the hard disk into your main memory so that it can be executed, which takes the executable image from disk and transfers it to memory. Additional components from shared libraries that support the program are also loaded. Finally, the computer under the control of its CPU executes the program one instruction at a time. So you can see how the loader and CPU how they executes the loaded program from your hard disk into memory, and how your CPU executes. CPU takes each instruction and executes it, possibly storing new data values as the program executes. There can be several problems that may occur at the execution time. Programs do not always work on the first try. Each of the preceding phase can fail because of various errors that we'll discuss. For example, an executing program might attempt to divide by 0. This would cause the computer to display an error message. You would then return to edit phase, make the necessary corrections and proceed through the remaining phases again to determine that correction works properly. Errors such as division by 0 should be handled properly, otherwise your computers will struck abnormally and you have to recorrect them, otherwise your computer will stop working. So in this session we covered various programming languages like a high level language, low level language and assembly languages, and also we have seen the compilers for compiling these high level language, low level language and assembly language programs, and also we have seen the brief history of C programming, and we discussed the steps in executing the C programs. Thank you.